Welcome to the fourth episode of the Pressure Point Dojo. I'm Chris Thomas, the chief instructor of the kyusho-jitsu Kenkyukai and your host. Thank you for being with me. And today we're going to continue our discussion about the four overarching concepts which will help you understand what pressure point fighting is all about. And this is part two of the third one, which is called Relational Artifact. I just divided it up because this one has a little more content in it, a little more specific things to pay attention to. But it's pretty easy to follow, and we're just going to kind of pick up now from where we left off last week. So join me in the MasterClass.
Everything I've talked about so far is about the way in which the point tries to reinforce itself against the attack, harden itself against the attack by calling for reinforcements. But there's one more dynamic going on. When you attack a point, you're putting energy into that point. That energy is hostile energy. It's negative energy. It's energy that has to be gotten rid of. You can imagine it like when the enemy shoots a firebomb. You've got to put out the fire somehow. So the way that the body puts out the fire is it shunts the bad energy to call it a garbage meridian. Every meridian has another meridian that it doesn't like. And it goes, and it like, I don't like you, so you can have the garbage. It sends energy in a way that's harmful to another meridian. We call that the controlling cycle or the cycle of destruction. This is what five-element theory is about. Five-element theory says that if I attack this metal meridian, the energy in the metal meridian, as it's defending against my attack, it also has to get rid of the energy I put in. It's going to shunt that energy to its trash bin meridian. In this case, it's wood. Metal, we say, cuts wood. Well, the wood meridians are liver and gallbladder. And you can actually see how this works. So gallbladder's up here and back here behind his head. And when I do this, there it is. Oops, see, it comes forward. And the harder I do it, the more he turns, so I start to get the gallbladder in the back. But he's always giving me the gallbladder. He always gives me that gallbladder. But also, he's weak down here. This is where the liver meridian is. The liver meridian is also located in the legs. As I do this, his legs become exposed so that it's very easy for me to kick inside his legs to the liver meridian. His body is sort of giving up these points because they are the things that are weakened. That's what five-element does. So it's really simple. Metal cuts wood. Wood sets up earth. Earth sets up water. Water obstructs fire. And fire melts metal. Okay? That's how that works. And it's a very easy cycle to remember. If you just picture a metal axe cutting wood, picture a tree setting its roots into the ground, picture the earth, a dam or the banks of a river holding back the water, picture the water putting out the fire, and picture the fire melting the earth. Or melting the metal. It's very easy to remember this, and it's not hard to see how it works. So those are the main principles. So diurnal cycle, which is the order in which energy goes through the body 24 hours a day. The yin-yang combinations, knowing how they go together, and the five-element theory. This is why it's good to know right away the names of the meridians you're on. If you talk about lung 10, when I learn about lung 10, here's lung 5 point. I learned the lung 5 point. Later on, I learned about the lung meridian, that it's a metal meridian, that it's yin, that it's paired with large intestine, and that what comes before it in the diurnal cycle is the liver meridian. So now I know all kinds of information, and I don't have to regurgitate that. I just say lung, and I know all of those things about it. That's why knowing the jargon is helpful. So when we talk about relational artifact, we're talking about these simple principles. Yin-yang, five-element, diurnal cycle. There's one more rule we work with, and this rule is called the rule of the special points. This is just a characteristic of individual pressure points. Some of these individual pressure points aren't even on the meridians. They are standalone points. But even a lot of the pressure points on the meridians have special characteristics or special qualities that if you understand, you can exploit. So I'll just give you a simple example of this. There's a point located right up here. It's just in the center of the clavicle. It's called Trey Pen Stomach 12. It's right back here. And you can push on it, and it hurts. Right? You get a nice reaction. Now here's the thing about this point. This is a stomach meridian point. If I press on the pericardium, I should not really get anything to happen, and yet something happened. How come that's working? Wait, okay, that kind of hurts. I push here, it hurts more. I don't understand that because there's no direct relationship. Pericardium is fire. In fact, fire nourishes earth, which is what stomach is, so that doesn't make any sense. Pressing on this point should make that point stronger. They're not in the diurnal cycle together. Stomach is preceded by large intestine and followed by spleen, so there's nothing there. They're not yin and yang cousins at all. They're not related to each other in any way. So how come it works? Well, it turns out that this point on the stomach meridian is actually a point of intersection where all three of the arm yang meridians, which is to say large intestine, triple warmer, and small intestine, all three of those meridians go through that point. So this one point on the stomach meridian can be treated as if it is a point on these other three meridians. Here's what that means. It means if I press on this point, I set up all of those arm yang meridians. So here's his large intestine, right? And if he's really strong and I'm pounding on him and not getting a result, maybe I touch here first and then hit there, and now I have a good reaction. Or I could say, well, gosh, the triple warmer meridian is yang, its yin partner is pericardium. I press on pericardium here, and look, this is as if I'm on a triple warmer point. I mean, the old meridian charts actually show this is part of the triple warmer meridian. So now I press here, and now I get this big and much more dramatic result. This is what the rule of the special points is all about. And you have to learn, this can get a little crazy. It can keep you up at night because you can be reading a pressure point book, an acupuncture book, and find out all kinds of really interesting information. And all of that really interesting information is potentially useful in fighting. It gets a little overwhelming.
MasterClass with Chris Thomas is an extensive library of in-depth video instruction covering Ishinryu Karate, Ryukyu Kempo, Tai Chi, Okinawan weapons, and so much more. It's a great value at $399 per year, but as a viewer of the Pressure Point Dojo, you can subscribe for only $119 per year. That's an amazing 60% discount. Just use the promo code DOJO when you subscribe. That's DOJO in all capital letters. When you subscribe to MasterClass with Chris Thomas, I just want to remind you that there is that delay from when you complete your subscription and when you're actually able to watch the videos, because I have to activate your subscription so that you have full access. And that can take a little while. My apologies for that. But know that it's me personally doing it. And when you get an email saying, welcome to MasterClass, that also is coming from me personally. Trust me, though, it's definitely worth the wait. The pressure point cheats and tricks are just so critical to just get the little details, the little extra things. In fact, that was how my teacher taught me anyway. I mean, he would, I would think I knew it. And I'd go, here, show me something new. And he'd say, now watch what I'm doing with this hand. And he would direct my attention to something small that I had overlooked. And so that's, with the tricks and cheats, that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to give you all of the little nuanced things that are so easy to overlook. Once again, Lionel Froidieu joins me in the MasterClass.
Right, so long point number 6. This muscle right here is called the radiobrachialis, where this muscle ends and the tendon connects to it, and it's right about typically in the middle of the radial bone. You have two sets of nerve endings there. First, anytime a muscle and a tendon join, you have what's called a body of Golgi's. This is monitors that connection, because when two different types of fibers in the body connect, that's a natural kind of weak spot, and so they're carefully monitored by the nervous system. And then the center of the bone, most bones are going to break in the middle, and so think of the fusiform fiber in the center of the bone as a kind of strain gauge that tells the nervous system if the bone is going to break. And this doesn't communicate with the brain, it actually communicates with the spinal reflex, and so it's very hard to resist it consciously because the signal doesn't even get that far. In normal acupuncture, they count what are called tsun, or body inches, but this is not really that. This is better to just look at the muscle, find the end of the muscle. This point causes the hand to open up and release, and this is a hit point. The direction for hitting is basically against the bone. Now that's not straight down from the top. It's actually at about a, not quite a 90 degree, maybe about a 30 degree angle, just a little off angle here. We use this a lot to release if somebody's grabbed. There's the point right there. There's the point right there. So you watch how the point moves. You see it moving? So then I can hit it. And the great thing about this point, too, is that the angle that I'm hitting it at, and this is true with all pressure points, the angle at which you hit the point is also a weak anatomical angle for the body. So even if I don't hit the point, if I just go this angle, it still gets my hand out. If I hit the point, we get this release. Okay? Now, here's the cheat. This is a metal meridian, and because we're already engaged here, there's now communication of energy between us. So we say, I'm in the door. So when you haven't gotten in the door yet, the rule is always use the same kind of energy that you're being attacked with. So if I want to hit a metal point, I use metal energy against it. When I'm first starting, once I've done that and I'm now in the door, then I switch to an energy which is destructive, what we call the cycle of destruction. But because he's grabbed me, I'm in the door. He actually pulled me in the door. So our energy is now linked together. So I can go to a fire meridian. This is how I use my own energy. If you follow the meridian, the triple warmer meridian, there's like a little zigzag area. It's triple warmer 5, 6, and 7. The meridian goes like this. We call it, for convenience sake, something like the triple warmer lightning bolt or something like that. But that's a spot where there's a lot of energy. Any place you get that little zigzag, any place where meridians cross, it's more energetic, and you can attack it, but also you can use it. So what I do is I take that fire spot and I hit this way. And you can see the effect is much bigger than before when I was smacking him with my fist. Because of this is fire energy. Another way to cheat, especially as if he's grabbed me with both hands, is to use his own arm against him, because now I'm short-circuiting him. And this, by the way, is pinyon number 3, hand sandan. This very simple motion, just 1, 2. See, it's 1. That's the first one. There's the second one. By the way, that hits him in the head. If you're going to practice that technique, by the way, do not do this and pull away. Think this hand, hit. Go right for the hit. Now, I don't know if it came through over the microphone, but you heard a very slight sound, an exhale sound, because this is the lung meridian. So the breath coming out is characteristic of the lung meridian sound. So you get this sort of sound afterwards. It's a very, very simple point to use, but this is the cheat, is you use this part of your arm because of the fire quality.
In this next segment, I want to share with you some concepts. I call it idiot-proofing your karate. So let's head in to the MasterClass.
If I punch, and you think of it as music, and you listen to the beat, you hear beat, 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 beat. But if I do what we call ukewaza, you hear 2 beats. So it is impossible for me to protect myself against a 1-beat attack with a 2-beat response. However, if I make the observation that the first piece here, this position that we might call the set or the getting ready or whatever the term is for, if I'm going to do some, what we call middle counter, yoko uke, or chudan uke, middle level uke to receive. I use the word counter, but when I first trained, we call that inside block, inside-outside block. If I look at that motion, well, this looks like something that is pretty sensible. It looks like a natural flinch position. So if you think about flinch positions, there are 3 main ways in which you react when something comes at your head unexpectedly. One thing you might do is this. Another thing you might do is this. The third thing you might do is like this. Sometimes this way, but usually this way. If Mike throws a punch at my head, I may go, ah, don't hit me. See this position I'm in, like this. Okay? Or, same punch, I might be like, whoa, don't hit me. See here? Or he might throw that same punch, and I might be this way, trying to catch it on my shoulder and my arms. By the way, this one can also be like this, because that punch might come from my head, and I might go, whoa, and try to stop his shoulder. Do you see? So these are natural positions. This is a natural position. This is the same position. It just looks cool. This is a natural position. This is the same position. It just looks cool. This is a natural position. This is the same. It just looks cool. Take this up. Ah, it just looks cool. But here's what this means. This means that I have idiot-proofed my martial arts. Because what I'm doing is I start with a natural reaction. The first part of the ukewaza technique, a natural reaction. So the punch comes, and I go, boom! Right, there's my, oh, get ready. Right? So at first, it's just don't get hit. Ah! Then later on, it becomes, I'm ready for this. So now I can grab it, and I can do my middle counter as a strike to his neck. That's cool. And then I can notice, look how this hand comes across. So the next time he comes in, I go, bam! So I stop it with this arm and punch it with that arm, and then I come in and hit him in the face. And so my technique now is a natural motion. But did you notice what I said? I come in and hit him in the face. There's an old samurai maxim that goes like this. When startled, step forward. So something comes at my head, I just move forward. I go, ah, and move forward. So let's look at the others. So this right here, this becomes middle counter or rising counter. This one becomes knife hand counter, what we call two-handed knife hand counter. The version that you see in, for example, Kyokushin, they'll do a version of that. Many styles do this. Many styles of Taekwondo use the hands like this. But then there's another kind of knife hand, which is done in a splitting motion. So look, ah, punch comes in, ah, knife hand. You see, so each one of these basic techniques is just one of our basic ukewaza, coming off of a flinch reaction. So if you understand this, you see these three natural reaction positions, and they give me the technique. All I have to do from here is any one of the basic techniques. So there are 3 natural flinch reactions, and there are 6 fundamental ukewaza. So that means each one of the natural reactions has 2 follow-up technique. So let me show them to you now. If my reaction is here, this position, 1, then my natural reactions are going to be either middle counter or rising counter, right? This one or this one. If my reaction is here, anywhere in this range, so see how the hands are crossed, so now I get knife hand in the version that we refer to as splitting, what we call down counter, gedan barai. And then the third one is here, so now I have, this comes in, 1, 2, or the technique known as morote. So I come in 1, knock it down, come in. 6 techniques, 3 natural body flinch responses, 2 techniques for each flinch. It's not that complicated. You just move forward. When startled, move forward.
I want to thank you for joining me here in the Pressure Point Dojo, and until next time, thanks for watching. Now go train.